Welcome back to another episode of Loungin Around with Katie and Clayton.
Yes, today we are joined by Frankie
Hi.
Rowsthorn. How are we?
I'm so good. How are you guys?
We're so good.
Alright, so obviously Frankie is a local stand-up comic in Perth and also happens to be the daughter of Peter Rowsthorn, played Brett in Kath and Kim, which I'm sure you're used to people being surprised by and also sick of hearing.
I love the cred of it.
Yeah,
I do love it.
Yeah.
When I do stand up, I'm just Frankie. I'm not Frankie Rowsthorn.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm sorry, but obviously Clayton thinks he's funny.
Yeah.
And he wants some tips and tricks, so we're going to ask you a few questions
Yeah.
about stand-up comedy.
I am trying to do stand-up comedy myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we just want to know, firstly, what are some personal qualities you believe are
A person needs to be.
to make a good stand-up comic?
Starting out, I think delivery is key. I think stand up is 30% jokes, 70% delivery.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Nice.
really what. And I've honestly been noticing recently, I personally feel like I've been in a bit of a dip because I've been getting a bit sick of my jokes and not saying them with the usual force that I do. So, it's so. You write something and you're like, that's great, that will always work. And then you do something a little bit differently or just a bit off that night and you bomb. It's just a weird sort of one. If your personality, if it's off, it can really throw off your whole routine, no matter how good your jokes are.
Right.
So really believing that your jokes are funny will take you a long way. And some people's jokes, famous people, famous comedians, who you can, if you have enough experience in it, you can watch them and be like, oh, that joke is actually shit and really basic, but they're delivering with so much confidence and they know exactly how to do it in their style and in a way that suits them and people really adore that. They'll get away with it and people will love them for it.
Well, what inspires your content?
Well, I started writing when I put off doing stand-up for a long time. I started writing when I was probably 12, 13.
Yeah.
Because I would go on with Dad to regional tours that he would bring the family along, and my family were my siblings and I would all be roadies for him and his equipment and stuff. And so he was like, you should get up and do stand up before me, or one night I can bring you on the middle. And I always was yeah, I want to do it one day. No, it's too scary. And then one day I had written a 5 minutes. I was like, I'll do it eventually. I kept putting it off, and then he was like, you're gonna do it or not? And I was like, fine, I will. And he was like, really? I was like, yeah, let's do it. And then went to an open mic, and then when I was 16 and did 3 minutes of just puberty-based material, a lot of teenage stuff that I'm still writing about. But then you can tell that you can refer to those jokes in past tense, so you can get away with that.
So what's the kind of process you go through when writing material for your stand-up comedy bits?
I'm in a weird sort of writing thing at the moment where I would just sort of wait around until I would have a funny conversation with my dad usually, and then I would just go, oh, that'd be good as a joke. It's really the stuff that makes you and your friends laugh, and you try to picture it in a stand-up sense, and then that's where the good stuff usually comes from. But right now I'm trying to focus on more sitting down and being okay, let's start with the concept and build from here and here and here. And focusing more on the math of writing a joke, because a lot of people do study that. It isn't everyone's deal. I don't think it ever will be my deal of here's a punch and then this is a visual and then I'll get that through this, and that's thinking a little bit too deep for me, but really just stuff that's quite basic conversational pieces that you can turn into jokes.
Now, what do you think is the best form of stand-up? In your opinion, what do you think really engages the crowd?
Well, everyone loves a musician. Everyone loves musical comedy. Everyone loves musical comedy.
I've got that.
It is the easiest form of comedy to do, and oh my god, you can. It's sort of it's great, and some people have gotten so successful off it, but it is cheating. It is, but you can totally do it. That is my advice. If you want to get started like that, 100%. When my dad started, he was in a duo doing songs. And so I always forget that I started by myself with no guitar, no songs with me. It was just straight up jokes. And so I think that is our difference. But people love physical comedy and musical comedy.
Right. Well, you know what, Frankie? If you have any material.
Okay, so my opener.
Go on.
My
Show
opener,
away.
it's hard to.
Promise we won't
Very
have
hard
this.
to do in this format. If I could work it in conversationally, it would be good. But I usually go up and I'm like, so I just turned 18 recently, a few months ago. Great thing about that, I've stopped worrying about pedophiles completely, and now I just keep an eye out for all men in general. And now I'm building on that and being like, how can I'm like, I kind of miss, pedophiles a little bit. Like, how do I lure in adults? Werther's Originals, choo-choo bars, licorice, like things that adults like. Yeah.
Nice.
So that's sort of my opener.
Please don't use that when you're on
You
stage.
take it.
No, I can't work with that. I don't.
You never know.
You got a guitar, you're set. Do it.
Alright.
I'm keen to see it, but yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be really
Everyone
cool.
could laugh at me.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Frankie.
No, thank you so
Appreciate
much for having me.
the awesome advice. I really hope that you're able to take it.